Okay, here we are, and I'm doing the drawing now. Look at how the basic shapes are presenting themselves. There's the landmass, there's the lighthouse and building behind. The clouds are kind of forming one big shape. The grass in front, one big shape. There's some strong diagonals in this shape that lead towards the lighthouse. The grass is bending towards the lighthouse. Other components that underlie the painting are composed to showcase the lighthouse. We're ready to begin the washes. This is a dramatic sky. We're starting with some strong yellows, some strong reds and oranges in the sky, which will be followed by some strong blues painted dry into wet. The first stage here is going to be to set up the sky, working around the building, working around the lighthouse, and working all the way to the top of the land mass. As I come down lower, I'm going to be adding some stronger reds. This is a mixture of cad red light and a little bit of alizarin. You can tell that it's getting rather dark and rich as we come down. This is to give that combination of a dramatic sky, and also it's purposeful in making this lighthouse really stand out. As I come down, I'm keeping the board a little flatter so that the watercolor doesn't float down too much. I want some control here over how the watercolor drifts, so I'll be tilting the board down sometimes and flattening it out sometimes. Here's basically how the red is presenting itself. This is sort of an underpainting because we're going to follow it with a stronger blue. I'm just finishing up some details, getting the contours to my satisfaction, especially around the lighthouse and the buildings. The blue that I'm going to be mixing up is a combination, mostly ultramarine blue, a little bit of alizarin, a little bit of burnt sienna. I'll make a mark to test it, and I'm watching how does it flow, how does it spread out. If it's remaining stationary, that's a good sign. That tells me it's thick enough, dark enough, and it'll hold its shape. It won't spread out and just melt into the red wash. It's going to be rather strong, like a cloud, floating through this red atmosphere. So now I'm mixing up a bigger puddle of that same color, and I'm going to be starting to place these cloud shapes that are moving up and away from the lighthouse into the atmosphere. This is a typical sky that you see near the ocean, where you have a strong bank of clouds near the horizon. As they rise higher in the sky, they're getting more dispersed, but they really give us a nice angle, a nice oblique movement towards the lighthouse. All of these brush strokes and the intensity of the color is focused on the lighthouse. As I'm placing more and more blues, you can tell that I'm leaving some of the reds. I'm not covering everything. This makes, as it dries, of course, they become a little bit merged, but this makes the result more transparent, more interesting, while still keeping the basic drama. So even though I'm using a lot of strokes, I'm kind of blending things now, making it into a larger, more solid mass. The red is still coming through. The blue is settled nicely on top of the red, and I'm really pleased with the drama that's unfolding in the sky. If you notice the upper left-hand corner, you see that darker cloud was applied when the wash was starting to dry, so the edge is rather hard compared to the other edges. This I will try to adjust later after the whole painting has dried.